On pages 3 and 4 in your equation packet, we will be using the distributive property and combining like terms to simplify expressions. Page 3 is working with combining like terms. Remember, to be like terms, they must have the exact same variable part, including the exponents. If you have variables that do not have a number in front, you might want to put a 1 in front of it so you remember that that's not just t, it's 1t, or in this case, negative 1t. Now when I go to combine like terms, these are all t's, but this one here is a t squared where the others are just t's. So this guy, he doesn't have any friends. He's just 6t squared. And then the positive 3t is going to go with this negative 1t. 3t plus a negative 1t is 2t, so plus 2t. That right there is your simplified expression. Next up, we have b squareds and b's. The ones that are exactly the same are the b squareds. We're going to put 12b squared with a negative 8b squared. When we put those together, 12 plus a negative 8 is 4b squareds. So 4b squared. And then this one does not go with anything, so we just write plus 6b. 4b squared plus 6b is your final simplified answer. In the next example, we'll start with this negative 10x. That's going to go with this positive 6x because they're the same variable part. Negative 10x plus 6x is a negative 4x. This is the only y term, so we're just going to write down minus 3y. And then our constant of plus 1. So our final answer is negative 4x minus 3y plus 1. Now in our last example, we have x's, y's, and xy's. This is the only one that has the variable part with having an x and a y in it. So that's going to be written by itself, 14xy. And then the y's, we have a negative 5y and a negative 2y. Negative 5y plus a negative 2y is a negative 7y. And then this is the only x term, so plus 3x. Remember, when you're combining like terms, don't forget the sign that's in front of each term to help you determine if it's positive or negative. 14xy minus 7y plus 3x is your final answer. On page 4, we're going to add to that one step. We're going to first use the distributive property to simplify it, and then we will combine like terms if necessary to get it into simplest form. Remember, distributive property is when you have to give the number on the outside of the parentheses to everything on the inside. So if we start with our first example, this is 3 times the quantity y plus 6, or 3 times y, which is 3y, and then 3 times a positive 6. 3 times a positive 6 is 18, and it's positive, so we're going to write plus 18. So our final answer would be 3y plus 18. In our next example, we have to give the 4 to everything on the inside. 4 times 2x. 4 times 2x is 8x. And then this is 4 times a negative 8, because this minus 8 is really plus a negative 8. 4 times a negative 8 is negative 32. Since it's negative, we're going to write minus 32. The next one gets a little bit trickier. We're only going to give this negative 1/2 to what's in parentheses. We're not going to apply it to this 14. So 1/2, or 5/10 times 8j, half of 8j is 4j. And then 1/2 times a negative 6 Half of negative 6 is negative 3, so we're going to write down minus 3 since it's negative. And then we're not going to multiply the 14 by a half. We're just going to bring that straight down. Now at this point, we need to combine like terms. The j is all by itself, no other j terms, so we leave that as 4j. But now we're going to combine the negative 3 and the positive 14 together. Negative 3 plus 14 is a positive 11, so we're going to write down plus 11. So our simplified answer is 4j plus 11. In our next example, before I even start, I would clean up this minus a negative 4. Minus a negative 4 is really plus a positive. Also, we have a negative sign on the outside of the parentheses. Think of that as a negative 1 times everything on the inside, or it will change everything inside to the opposite of what it was. So negative 1 times 2x is negative 2x. Negative 1 times 3y is negative 3y. And negative 1 times negative 2 is positive 2. And then we're going to bring this part straight down since it's not in the parentheses. We're not going to multiply it by the negative 1. Now go through and add like terms. There are no other x terms, so the negative 2x is going to go by itself. Then we'll move on to the y's. No other y terms, so bring down the negative 3y. But the positive 2 and positive 4 can go together. 2 plus 4 is 6. Negative 2x minus 3y plus 6 is the final answer. Our last example. This one is definitely a little bit tricky, so pay close attention to this one. We're going to multiply everything on the inside by 2x. 2x times 2x is really 2 times x times 2 times x. 2 times 2 is 4, and x times x is x squared. So 2x times 2x is 4x squared. And then 2x times 3. 2 times 3 is 6, making it 6x, because 2x times 3 would be 6x's. And then 2x times y would be 2xy. 4x squared plus 6x plus 2xy is the final answer. I guess I'm out of time.